Hello Internet, I'm Dan.
This is Chaz.
And this is the Wine is Serious Business Show, episode 40.5 more or less. We shot episode 40 a little earlier this evening, weren't feeling too good about it. We're drinking the wines, warmed up to a couple of them, figured we'd do it again and really give you guys a better experience with all of these wines than we could have given you an hour ago.
That's a good point, actually. So these are all 2008 Oregon Chardonnays, all around the $20 price point. And so far we've actually been really enjoying all of them, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And what we really needed to give you, they've all evolved.
Yep. As
we've been drinking them. Like we filmed the show, we were hanging out for a little while, and we're like, wow, these have all changed. I feel differently about these to actually a pretty large extent.
Yep.
Right? So,
and we know where we're at. A lot of people have talked about, geez, I wish you guys would disagree a little more. I can tell you right now, there's going to be some differing opinions on wine number 3. Okay. So let's get into wine number 1.
Rinse here.
Oh yeah. We'll rinse and clean it out. Nice thing about Chardonnay from Oregon, like you said, in the $20 price point, since Pinot Noir is the big thing from here, while Chardonnay has done well, it doesn't have the market share that Pinot Noir does. It's not as expensive. You get California from Chardonnay, you get up to the 50, 60, you run all the way out on it. A lot of very solid Chardonnay in Oregon is very reasonably priced.
It's very true.
What are we starting with?
So, 2008 Hawksview Pinot Noir. See?
Yeah, your
Caught
program.
Yeah, so
this is even his show. He picked out Chardonnay.
I know, I did. I like Chardonnay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Chardonnay gets a bad rap because California has really overdone the shit out of it, as far as the oak, the butter bombs, and
which he likes.
I do. There's a hedonistic side of my palate that really likes the heavy oak at a certain time. Oregon, I think, is a middle ground between California and white Burgundy, where you get like good acidity and good fruit, typically without the heavy oak that California carries, but with some of it. Like it's like a very middle ground.
You got a good range, lots of stainless stuff. You know. Anyway, Hawksview Vineyards, pretty new producer. Both of us have had experiences with their Pinot Noir that we've been happy about. Neither one of us have had the Chardonnay before tonight. We got it to check it out. This is the Carabella Vineyard, so single vineyard Chardonnay from 2008. So we'll go back, we'll sniff it, and we'll talk about the nose again.
Okay.
It's going to take some editing on my part.
Yep. Is that alright?
Totally, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't watch the shows, and I watch them like 6 times. Cut down.
Okay.
6 times. No.
Oh, it just came out. Okay. So
Alright.
the wine.
I'm getting really good apple flavors.
Yeah, but the lemon thing is very big.
Totally.
That's right, like totally.
And this is something I want to point out because the citrus component wasn't nearly as dominant when we tried this an hour ago.
Totally.
It hadn't opened up this much. This wasn't presenting itself. I'm getting a tropical fruit characteristic, something more heavy, kind of like a mango, that also was very subdued early on, is very present right now. Yeah. And that's something, definitely worth highlighting. Like, this has really benefited from being open for about
mango pineapple.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and the oak, there is no oak presence on the palate. It's reminiscent of something that is completely done in neutral oak or stainless steel.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was, yeah.
Right.
Like, I would be surprised to hear if they were like, yeah, this is 100% new French oak. I'd be shocking.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think you're right. So my guess would be stainless. Of course, we're uneducated. We're not professionals. We could be entirely wrong. If you're affiliated with this wine, totally call us out. Put it in the comments. If you're like, yeah, that is 100% French oak. We just balance it well. Who knows?
Our fruit is the bomb.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's try it.
Nice and clean all the way across the palate.
This is a very clean wine. Like,
yeah.
And the acidity has, so before, the fruit was kind of higher than the acidity. And the acidity was definitely something where we're kind of like, the acidity's not really playing too much. The acidity is now a little more pronounced. Do you agree?
I totally agree, and I'm fascinated by this. So much so that I'm probably going to post the original episode on Vidler. I'm not going to release it on Facebook. I'm not going to release it on YouTube. But if you really want to see what we thought on first pass of these wines, it'll be up there on wineisseriousbusiness.com. You can go in there and check it out.
Good point.
Because I made an explicit remark that the acidity on this wine was low.
And it's different now.
It's totally changed. The acidity is very, very nice, contributes well to the entire experience. Takes that tropical fruit more towards pineapple than mango. I'm really impressed.
These are only a few degrees under room temperature at this point. Because when we first drank them, I pulled them out of the fridge, like what you typically do with white wines, where you pull them out of the fridge 30 minutes to 45 minutes before you drink them, and that's where we tasted all the wines. So this is, I think this wine is benefiting from being closer to room temperature remarkably.
Enormously. I'm getting some peach notes as well. So this is, again, more heavy fruit without heavy character. This isn't like a flabby, thick wine. Speaking to the lack of oak on it, it's really, yeah, I'm really enjoying the different fruit flavors.
It's quite a bit better, isn't it? It's quite a bit better. Yeah.
Enormously. If you buy one of these, don't drink it right after you cork it. Let it sit out for an hour.
Yeah.
Not many people do that with whites. It's worth it with this one.
Absolutely. So I feel like, and that was kind of the struggle as I was drinking through the entire lineup, was like I should have scored the Hawksview lower. But really at this point, I think that it totally has its place. It doesn't have an oak presence. It's all about the fruit. If you're looking for something that's fruity and has a decent acidity level, like the acidity level is remarkable in this. It's very good. 88 points for me.
Yeah,
I'm stepping it up. I'm stepping it up to 88.
Same thing. I was below that in the original episode, but I'm totally feeling it right now.
This music is done. It's fine. Just leave this in the episode.
That was unnecessary.
What? This is what people want to see, Dan. For our second wine, we have the Evesham Wood 2008 Puits Sec Single Vineyard Chardonnay. This is the estate vineyard from Evesham Wood.
Yep, finish that off. We've been a big fan of their reds for a while.
Yeah.
They make some good whites.
They make an awesome Pinot Noir.
Yeah, the guy trained as a winemaker in Germany, which, you know, some of my favorite wines in the world are German Rieslings. Huge fan of that. Looking forward to this wine. Actually, to be honest, we enjoyed this in our first tasting of the episode, and I'm looking forward to trying it again.
Wow. This is just another step to me. You really need to drink your whites at room temperature.
Or just below, just below. I'm going to
just below.
I chill mine a lot. Well, you are big on full-on room temp.
Full-on room temp. I leave them on the counter, and then I open them and drink them. It's just, they express everything at that point. Yeah, maybe it's flawed if there's alcohol coming through, or if there's.
But let's bring this out. What are your favorite whites too?
Chateauneuf Pot Blanc.
Right.
That's my number one.
Rhone Blanc. I'm more of a Mosel Riesling guy. They do fine at room temp, but I think that a lot of them really benefit from being just a little bit under. If you have to chill it down, if you're drinking your wine, you know, just above freezing point, you're shutting it down, you're dodging a bunch of crap, and you're missing out on all of the good stuff.
Well said.
But I totally believe that a little bit colder benefits a lot of still very solid wines. What do you think?
It's gotten way more aromatic.
Agreed.
The amount of like some there's actually like peachy flavors have come through quite a bit, like straight up fresh peach.
And I'm still getting some really interesting mineral notes on the nose, and
that was something we commented on the first one.
Yeah, well, that might be kind of nerdy. I really want you to think of like mineral water. If that seems like a strange thing to you, think of mineral water, sparkling mineral water. What does that smell like? Yep. Like that's really comparable to what I'm getting right now. I use minerality as a descriptor pretty commonly, but in very few cases would I say as strong as this. I'm getting something similar to mineral water on the nose.
To me, it reminds me of sort of a quartz presence. Like in Southern Oregon, there's a mountain where the whole top of the mountain is quartz. You can drive to the top of it.
Seriously?
Yeah, you can drive. You can actually drive to the very top.
We're gonna do a Southern Oregon tour at some point. We'll make some good shows out of it, and I want to see this mountain.
But this reminds me. Yeah, people pull things out of their past, and I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Something I've been pushing forth my notes more, actually, like as technical guys, we're like, yes, it smells like this, it tastes like this, and I'm trying to push it more towards, you know, an emotional experience or images that it suggests, like great art of any sort. It's a comprehensive experience, and I want to bring it out. I'm getting really good pears in the nose as well.
Right. Pears, peaches, the acidity, like we commented on this before, and even more so now that it's warmed up, the acidity comes in sooner. Whereas before we would swallow it, and then there would be like literally this lapse where it would be down, and then all of a sudden the acidity peaked up and carried on for another 10 to 15 seconds. Now the acidity is just full on the mid palate and carries on for a long time.
But I want to make the point that it still evolves. It's not right away. It doesn't hit your palate with acidity.
No, okay, yeah.
In contrast to like a lot of Riesling, right, where you're just like, or Sauvignon Blanc, where it's like zip right out of the gate. This evolves.